So let me get my camera switched here. So I was going to be doing a class, and it ended up that the program we were trying, this is was my first virtual, I have to say, and it was not, I couldn't see all the people, they couldn't see me big enough to see all the projects and stuff that we were doing. And it looks like my video is really kind of pixely, kind of weird. So hopefully we'll get it all going. If you guys are here, just say hi so I know everybody's here so I can get started. Like I said, my class people, this is for them. So for those of you that are coming on, are going to get to see a free class, because our other program was not working very well, so we just decided to go live. You remember, you have to be signed on to Gmail to be able to comment. So we're going to be working, I'll to let you know, with this beautiful friendship set today. So this is the set we're using. I'm wondering too, Deborah, because it seems like it's a little off. So let me check something. Let me just, I think my other program might have been on, so I'm going to make sure it's turned off. Okay, it seems okay. Is it okay now, the video? What is the video doing, Deborah, if you can let me know, because it seems okay on my end. Stephanie, is there a problem with the video? All right, hopefully it's okay. It seems okay on my end. Okay, so I'm gonna guess everybody's here. Olivia, are you here? Debbie? It's okay there. Okay, good. Thank you. Oh, that's weird. I don't know why. Well, I hope not. What about this camera? Is this okay? This camera? This is the one I'm more concerned about. Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's get started. Hopefully the video's okay. Debbie, I hope you're on here. You can text me if you are, if you can't message. I was just folding my note cards while I was waiting for everybody to get on. And so you don't need to see me. Let's get the project going, right? Thanks for being patient. All right, so I'm going to put my note cards away and put them to the side because we're going to do that a little bit later. And right now we're going to pull in a template, and I'll upload all these things. Thanks, Deborah. I'll upload all of this on my blog. So I had some instructions, so I will post all that. So what I did is I created a box, and I'm going to go ahead and give you this picture so you can take a screenshot if you'd like. I will give you the measurements. So this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. All right, the measurements, when you score on the 8.5 side, you're going to score at, if you're ready for paper, 5/8. Oh, this is what, let's see, hold on one sec. Yes, you're going to do 5/8, 1 5/8, 6 7/8, and 7 7/8. Okay, that's this way. Then you're going to turn it clockwise, and then you're going to score at 2 5/8, 3 5/8, 7 3/8, and 8 3/8. Okay, so let me just show you a picture here. Let me get the measurements up there. Okay. Like I said, this was a class and not a YouTube right away. So there's the measurements. Hopefully you can see that, kind of blurry. But they'll be on my blog. So don't worry about that. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you are going to make a tick mark. So your card's like this. You're going to make a tick mark right here at 6 3/4. And you're going to flip it this way and do a tick mark again at 6 3/4. So you want them across from each other. And as you can see, it's so that you can cut, you know where you're cutting your item. So your 6 3/4 is right here, and you're going to cut at a diagonal up to the next corner of your score. And then at 11, you're going to do the same thing. And that's just so you know that you're taking this corner off. And then you're going to take it from here up to this corner. And I'll explain it a lot better on my blog. So 6 3/4, so you can go to diagonal and cut that corner off. And 11, so that and you're going to score 11 just to right here. Okay? And then you diagonal here to get this all off. Okay? So, and then you're going to turn it again and do the score. Okay, so let's see if you can see this. Okay, so there's a tick mark there. See the tick mark? And then there's the score there. And it just goes to the first line. So I hope that makes sense. All right. Then you cut it all out. So then when you cut it all out, you're going to get this. So you cut everything off that I said, that I marked. And then you are going to just have your tabs. You're going to cut your tabs. Oh, now I see that it's blurry. Probably because I have a lot of white, guys. Sorry. Whenever there's a lot of white and I hold it up, it does that. All right. I'm going to open up another light. Okay. So now, okay, Dawn, I'm explaining that what this is. So this is the template that you're going to cut these items out. And I just went over the directions for the measurements, and you guys have that. So that's what it was saying. And that's done for you already, so don't worry about that. Okay, so that's that. And so then you end up with an envelope like this. Okay, so you just cut those items out. Now, on the tabs, you're going to cut, and then you're going to do a little angle just so you're to miter them, so they're a little easier when you fold them in. They don't stick out. So that's this. The next step you want to do is you want to have a piece of paper. I just had one. Hold on. A piece of paper just like this. Now this is in the Whisper White thick. And then on the Whisper White, normal Whisper White, you're going to do the same scoring. And you're going to create exactly the same thing. But now what you're going to do is you are going to cut everything off exactly the same, but you're also going to cut the tabs. So I'm going to do that on screen right now because that's what I was going to do in class. So I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm going to use larger scissors, but use what you have. And I'm not going to use a score just because I will use a score. So I can go. It's kind of some score, some not. All right, I'm going to start like this. So you're just going to cut along your score lines. And you can stamp ahead of time if you want. I don't like to. Okay. So everybody cut all the X marks off of your paper. And there might be a little trimming later, and that's okay. So just cut all of what you want off. You don't want the tabs on. Oh, look what I just did. Okay. Don't do that. Okay. So I just cut that. Don't cut that. So pay attention to what you're doing. So you're going to want to do this. And then you're going to want to cut your tab off. And it's okay that I did that, and I'll show you why. We're going to cut all of these pieces off that you don't want, and then we're going to cut the other ones off that we do want. So you can just cut everything and then keep the ones that don't have the X's, you guys, that are in the class. So just cut that all off, all the stuff with the X's. And the score line, you guys kind of, once you trim, you're going to want to cut the score line off. So you just want your image just a tiny bit smaller. Okay, Debbie. So what you're doing now is you're just cutting this all up. Yeah, we decided to go ahead and do a live versus a private just because it was faster and easier to get everybody on and to know I'm on, because I had a pretty big class. So you're just cutting everything off that has an X. I forgot an X right there, but I know that that needs to be gone. So this is the fun, slow part, but sorry guys, my class is doing this with me live right now. So I'm just trying to cut it straight. I have a lot of new people on my class, so this is kind of not really a beginner project, but a beginner class, so this will be a slower video. Will take a little time, which is not a big deal for us. If you need to catch it later, or I will list below. Well, you'll see it on the blog, guys. If you want to go switch to the blog when I'm done, I will get it posted probably tonight. On my blog with all the details so that you'll have how to do this. So this is for those just joining. This is what we're doing. I know it's not as exciting to see me cut, right? All right, so now I have cut everything that's an X. So I have a lot of cutting still to do, so everybody just keep cutting. All right, so right now we're at this point. So this was the first for the box. That's going to be the template. Again, all the measurements will go on my blog. And right now we are cutting all of our pieces so that we can color them and stamp on them and create them all beautiful. So I'm going to pull out my scorer. Now that I've got all my straight pieces. And class, I know you're still cutting. Don't worry, I am too. We're just cutting along. I'm just going to try and straighten mine because I kind of used All right. And with a scorer, of course, it's a little easier. And you don't have to worry about where your pieces go, because we're going to worry about that in a little bit. So if they're not exactly, you don't have to lay them out once you cut them. Just get them all cut. It doesn't have to be super perfect, but straight's good. You can always trim it up a little bit later. Once you go to put it on the panel, and you'll see that you want to straighten it up. All right, so everybody's still cutting. I know this is going to be kind of a different YouTube for those that watch my YouTubes, because this is a class, as I'm saying, and we're doing this all up together because our videoing didn't work out like we wanted. So I have, I think, I want to say 6 brand new stampers with us today in this class. So I want to go slow enough to help them. So we're just going to keep cutting our pieces down. And then we get to the fun part. And it's worth it, like if you want to make a bunch of these for a gift or something, create a bunch and do it in like an assembly line fashion. So you'll get all your boxes made, all your pieces made, everything done, and then you stamp them all. So you can start stamping all at one time, get everything done. And that's how I like to do it. So now I'm just going to lay my pieces out. And so I'll just show my instructions here. Like I said, I'll be putting these on my blog. But you'll see where the DSP goes, which we're going to create our own. But if you wanted to do designer paper on your own, all the parts that we cut out are gone. And so this is kind of what we come up with. And now I put the picture with the stamped images on just so you can see it and how your stamping will go. But I like to do it white at this point and then start stamping once I get my panels and my pieces. So I put all my panels and pieces. These two are the same size. So I put them like that. All right, so I'm going to lay my pieces out so I know where they're at. You can tell my tabs are gone. Sure, Debbie, I sure can. Just let me know when you are done with your cutting. So I'll show some other samples while they're cutting still with this set. This is the Beautiful Friendship set. And this is one of the cards that I did. And it's just a different fold. Well, that was kind of weird, huh? It gave a weird color. And then I did a matching envelope. And another couple I did, which we have a kit to do this. So this is the sample example of the card that I gave you guys to do for the kit. And you can put whatever sentiment on it you want. And I didn't do the inside yet. And then there's just a couple examples. I put some Wink Stella on this one, so it's sparkly. I did do the inside of this one. And then here's one just in a different color, which is the Mango Melody that you guys have the ink pad for. So there's that one. So those are some examples. Another thing I showed is on here. This is a completely separate project, but an alternative one, is you could create yourself your own designer series paper and stamp your images, and then you cut your paper in quarters and then cut it down for card fronts, and then you can do something like this. I didn't finish the cards, but here they are. So there's one. So I thought like landscape would be pretty to put a sentiment up there and pop images up. And here's another. There's another one. And then this one you'll see I made a label because I dropped my block. See where my block is right there? So I said, oh, a label would look so pretty right there to hide my boo-boo. So these will be creating with designer series paper is a lot of fun. And then you can create your own cards and put your own whatever sentiments on or make your own design type thing. It's a lot of fun. See, Dawn, there's always a way. Embellish, embellish. If you mess up, it's time to embellish. Okay, if you guys have double-sided adhesive, you're going to want some later on when we start putting our project together. All right, Debbie, Dawn, you guys just start, keep cutting. You're doing fine. I'm going to start stamping just so we can see, you guys can see as I go. It's a lot of stamping to do, so I'm going to go ahead and start. And you guys just keep cutting and let me know when you get ready to stamp. And I will be there to help you. So what I like to do is pick out my large pieces first. Oh, you're done. Perfect. So I like to pick out my large pieces first. So I'm just going to move my envelope, all my pieces to the side, because I kind of like to know where they're at on my block. Because if you look at your picture, you're going to notice, let me show you which picture am I looking for. The picture right here that says number 4, guys. Okay, so you're going to notice that this one's upside down and this one's upside down because those flap forward and you want them right side up when you flip it, right? So I take the large one first. So let's grab the large one and we're going to get ready to stamp that. Now, if you guys have something soft or squishy, And I highly recommend a piercing mat. This is a piercing mat. It's like a foam, thick foam. But if you guys have a phone book or just something that's, gives just a bit, that gives you the best impression. All right. Let me fix my camera here. All right. I'm going to move this. All right, so I'm going to move you in just a little bit. So you can see the stamping. All right. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Mango Melody. And I'm going to get my the large flower stamp. Okay. So I want to put my mat actually underneath my paper because I want, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of my smaller papers. These are great too, guys. These are the Stampin' Up! Grid papers. And they're also just a smaller grid paper, but I like it because I can tell where my mat's at. So I don't stamp off like that and then I miss it. So I'm going to pull my camera a little closer. So because I'm blind, and I've got to bring it up closer to me. All right. So I've got my larger piece. And now I'm going to ink up my flower. And then you just kind of put it where you want it. So I like to start right about here in case you want to put a sentiment or whatever up here. And with the polymer stamps, I tend to hold it a little longer on paper just so the paper absorbs the ink. Okay. So there's your flower. And now I'm going to put the large one down. And now you're going to pick your color that you have that's a pinkish color. Flirty Flamingo is what I'm using. And I know a lot of the class has the Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one open because we will be using it a lot. So just put it over there. And now if you want to just look at the picture, kind of just gauge an idea of how you want to arrange your flowers. This is completely optional and however you want to do it. And now you can see why you want the grid paper is because I'm going to be stamping off. I don't want everything in my square because that would just not look great. So just kind of put it up next to it. And this stamp set is so forgiving, you guys. You do not have to really mask. You can just kind of stamp right along next to it. Okay. Now, I don't know what everybody's colors are, so I'm going to show you how I would do this. If you only have a certain amount of colors, I'll show you how to do that too. All right. So I don't know why I just wiped this off because I'm going to be using it a lot. So that's okay. So this is what I want for now. So I'm just going to leave the flower. I'm going to do the two flowers first and then we'll come back in for the centers and the leaves. So I'm going to leave this for now and put it back in my little pile. And if you guys don't have room to make your little image here, that's okay. I'll just tell you what pieces to pick up. All right, so now you're going to pick up another one of these, the larger piece. And although the flowers are upside down, we're not going to do them upside down. We are going to just stamp them randomly where you want. So I'm going to start with Flirty Flamingo because that's what I had on my pad last. And I'm just going to, and this is going to be the top of your card. So remember, we're going to put the flower right here, but you still want to have color in the background. So you just kind of want to do your panel. I didn't do the top, just kind of do it towards the bottom how you want to. So if you look back a page, for those that have the instructions, this is the one we're doing right here. So I'm going to do pink there and a pink color here, which again I'm using Flirty Flamingo, and maybe right there. I think I did another up here. Okay. Now I'm going to clean it because I'm going to switch back to Mango Melody. I like to stamp it on paper just to make sure if you have extra water on there from cleaning it. And then just go in and put your flowers where you want them. Okay. No rhyme or reason. This is going to be a lot covered up anyway, so just put them where you want them. So that's what I chose. All right, so I'm going to move that panel up so you can continue looking at it, and I'll go to the next panel. So the next panel is going to be this. So I want the big yellow flower again. Okay. So I'm going to bring in the large flower again. And I'm going to just put it back. I think I'm going to put it more in the middle. Like maybe over here. Just because the top one's on the left and we're going to have that flower up on the left, I'm going to put it to the right a little bit. So see, you can just do what you want. Change it around. It's okay. All right, so now I'm going to go back to Flirty Flamingo. I like to put the pinker ones close to the big yellow because then you can fill it in with the yellow. And you don't have to have them and remember, you're going to add leaves. So you want to leave some space like we're leaving in these over here. All right, so those are my two panels. All right, Dawn, Debbie, everybody, Olivia, how are you guys doing? Doing all right? And now all the other little pieces, we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to set these back. Don't worry about rushing, everybody. It's a lot of the same step from here on out. Good, Olivia. From here on out, it's fairly a lot of stamping and gluing, and we're going to be good. So just keep going like you are. And see, I just kind of randomly did my pink. I'm going to pull the same one on the other side. This is all whatever you want to do. Good stuff. You're done stamping everything? Well, look at you. All right, so I'm going to clean this off. Yeah, if you guys are doing this at home, it's fairly fast. Just, I mean, you could just stamp and go, stamp and go. There's really no rhyme or reason. You're just kind of filling it in. You don't want a bunch of white space on something like this. You're going to be filling this in with green, so don't worry about that. Oh, look, I keep cleaning. I don't know why. Okay, so I'm going to move those over, and now I'm going to pull these in. And here's another tip, guys. If you have two pieces like this, put them together. Okay. And take this, and then now you're kind of stamping two at a time. See that pink mark right there? That's all right, because I'm going to make that the center of my yellow flower. But that just tells me I need to clean my block. All right, so I think I'm going to do one more over here. But now I'm going to separate them because I'm going to be doing the yellow. Oh, good. All right, so now I'm going to bring in the yellow. Oh, I'm going to do one more pink right here. And a lot of times it's easier on other stamps when you're doing other projects to do them close together. But because this one, we're going to add leaves, it's okay that we have spaces. We do not have to have it completely full because we have a filler. The leaves would be considered a filler. All right, so there are these. And they do not have to match up going around the corner of your box. So right here, it's white here, so that doesn't matter. But then when you go down here, and that's where I dropped another piece of my block, so it went on the bottom. So there's always, I mean, if you looked at it, you wouldn't know that. Okay, so you can tell like this doesn't go to the next flower. So don't worry about that. No one's going to look at that. All right. All right, so I'm going to just continue on. Keep stamping. Everybody doing okay? All right. I'm just going to add a little bit. Charlene, are you on here? Doing okay, Kim? Remember to leave space, you guys, because you have your leaves to put in. This would be a lot easier for you guys in person, I know. So don't get overwhelmed. And who'd have known we were going to be crafting with America, right? Good, Charlene, good. Yeah, so if you guys are on and you don't have Google, you're not signed in, then you can't comment. So that if your commenting is not working, then that's why. So just make sure you have that. Next time when we do our class, we'll do it on a private link. I'll have it all set up already. And I think I can still, maybe we can work it out to our other programs still on the computer where I can still answer questions and stuff. Because I know this isn't the best way to do our class, but I know that I appreciate you guys saying let's just do it live and go for it. So it worked all week, but who'd have known once we put this many people on that it would be a problem. So all right, I'm done. You guys keep going. I'm done with just the flowers. I still have a lot to do. And you guys, once we could, at one point when you're ready, we could move forward and you can adhere this to your template later, but I'll show you how to do that. Let's just keep going. We have plenty of time right now, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take in another color that you see that I've already created on here to match, because I've got cards made that match this. But for you, if you, I know you are, a lot of you are new stampers, if you do not have another color that you want to use, you can either use your Flirty Flamingo or your like color and stamp in the middle here, and I'm going to show you right now with the little tiny flowers, And then you could use your yellow and stamp in the middle here, or you can take your pink color that you have and stamp it again. And you can even do it a couple times. They're just little dots. So if you want to make it darker, just keep stamping it until it's dark, darker right there. So that's kind of what you can do if you don't have another color. But I'm going to use my darker color for my little flowers. So just stamp it just like that in the middle. It does not have to match up perfect. You're going to see that your little tip is on the bottom. Let me see if I can. The little tip is on the bottom and the little prickly flower things are on the top. Okay, so just okay, so that's how I'm doing it, and I'm even doing that just for the pink ones is what I'm doing on these. So I'm going to put those back, and I'm just doing the pink with this color. So you guys just choose what you have, and if it's off the edge like this, I always just barely put a little. Even if the center is not right there, I still pretend it's there, and I just add a little bit right there. Okay. So for those of you popping in that didn't catch the beginning, I will be posting this information on my blog with all the measurements and everything. It'll be, oops, I forgot to do that one. It will be, oh, I'm doing the wrong color. Oh, well, that's okay. It will be probably later tonight. It'll be on my blog. All right, I'm doing yellow. I got to remember. So that one, not yellow. And again, I just barely go, just so it doesn't look like there's a flower with nothing there. Dawn, you guys doing all right over there? I didn't hear from Kim. Kim, I hope you're on here. And you made it over. I'm just going to assume you don't have a Google sign-in. All right. So you see, this isn't that difficult. Good, good, good. It's just time. And you guys, I know a lot of you are brand new at stamping, and you'll catch on. It's how do I say this? I tend to not do super easy stuff. So you're going to learn a lot of stuff, but you're going to, and I am patient. So just let me know if you need me to stop or slow down. Of course, doing it on Facebook Live is not the easiest to do that, but in class, it's going to be a lot easier for you guys. So you guys are heroes right now. And I'm glad you guys, can you imagine sharing your stamp sets right now? Oh, yay, Kim, good. This is why I think a lot of times, especially when you're newer, it's kind of nice to have your own stuff, work at your own, because if you're sharing stuff, Steph, thanks. If you're sharing, it's rough. It can be rough. I'm gonna make sure my computer's plugged in. How would that be? I've done that where the side plug's not plugged in all the way and then it unplugs. Oh, that is not fun. All right, so I'm done with this color because I did one. And you guys can do this, the center of your flowers, the same color. That is not a problem. So don't worry about that. I have one panel here that is all my little flowers are the same, and that's all right. I am not going to worry about it. But I'm going to pull in Calypso Corals, what I have next. And I'm going to do my little flowers here on the yellow. But like I said, mix and match your colors if you want, or just go back over it with a darker color and you'll be fine. It'll just pop out the centers a little bit. Oh, look at this one. See, this is the one I did all the yellow on. Oh, I did the yellow there too. Oh, so I switched to yellow. So that's okay. I'm just going to do the whatever color that I didn't do. See, the colors are so close, you really can't tell that much. So just do your centers. Are you guys stressing out over there, Dawn? You doing all right? I don't want to be going too fast. How's everybody else doing? Olivia's chugging along, she said. I know Candace is probably doing just fine. Charlene, I'm sure you're doing fine. I feel like I'm in Romper Room. And Debbie, how are you today? Stephanie and I were playing with some faces that were on that program we were on. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm getting these centers done. And this is an A to Z video, guys. We're doing everything. Good, Olivia. We're doing everything. It's actually a class, so we are going crafting together, a bunch of us. Social distancing is what we're doing, so we're hogging up the YouTube time. Charlie's sitting over here in the corner like, what are you guys doing? Who are you talking to? You're not talking to me. All right, so those are done. And now I'm going to move on to my leaves. Yeah, there's an astronaut, like a little image on there that's pretty funny. All right, so while I'm right here, actually, you guys don't forget to pull out your piece of paper from your card kit. And it probably says stamp your large flowers on it. So I don't want to forget that. So in here, mine doesn't say it, but it says stamp your large flowers. So don't forget to do that. So I'm going to pull that back in. So I can color those at the same time, because I forgot. So you see how this stamp set is so forgiving, you guys? This is why I thought this would be the perfect set to do this with for you guys. All right, so there's that. I think no, I'm not done yet, but all right, and then the other set is this one. Now, this one, you guys, is the one that I think a pen would come in handy. So what I'm going to show you is I want to use Flirty Flamingo for that one. I'm going to close these up before I stick my fingers in them. So Flirty Flamingo, this is what I would do. So this is a little helpful tip. You're going to take your flowers and you're going to put them on the stamp set, or if you have the cube, the ink spot, turn it over and just get the flowers with the pink. Now, if you get any on the stem, just get a baby wipe or a little towel or something and just wipe off the stem Okay, just wipe it off like that. And then you're going to turn yours around and you're going to ink them or take your ink spot and do that. I happen to have the markers, so I have the same color that I'm using my green with. So I'm just going to, these markers you can mark on your stamps. The alcohol ones called the blends or Copics or anything like that, you do not want to put on your stamps because they are alcohol. Okay, and they do not wipe off. They'll stay on. All right, and now this is the huff technique. You just huff on it and it just kind of heats it up a little bit, and we're just going to stamp that down. And what that does is it moistens the ink again. So when I've been coloring, it might have dried a little bit. So you want to huff on it to kind of just reactivate and re-moisten the inks. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in because I didn't color my centers here. And I think I'm going to do it since I randomly did everything in every color. I love Poppy Parade, so I'm going to use Poppy Parade. All right, so there you go. I look good as an astronaut, Stephanie, really. I liked the flower pot. Or the cat. All right. Now I'm going to start my leaves. So on the leaves, guys, there's a secret to that. I'm using Pear Pizzazz because that's what I used on my other cards. Excuse me. So when you do your leaves, and you can use whatever leaves you want. I'm going to randomly use both, depends on what space I have. But you're going to ink up your stamp and just kind of go close to your flower and then shift and stamp again. So you see how there's two images kind of? So you're going to again, and I'm showing you one here, but you don't have to because we're going to cut this one out. But you're going to stamp and then you can stamp again and it'll just give you a couple different shades. So that's on the one that we're cutting out, so you don't really have to do that, but I just wanted to show you. It's all what you want to do. So see what a difference this makes when you add your leaves in. Now I'm going to use the smaller one here. And if you go over your flower a little bit, I'm going to turn this over so you guys can kind of see. If you go over your flower a little bit, it's not earth-shattering. It's okay. That's why I like this set, is because it's just forgiving. All right, I want to use my larger one here. And go inward. Now remember, you don't want to rock your stamp. You just want a nice straight up and down. If you find that you're getting ink on your block, just take it off. If it's on your fingers, stop and get it off because you will touch something. And you don't want to do that. Okay. And I think on this one, because there's some white right here, I'm going to take the little stamp and just put that big leaf right in there, like that. So I just kind of fill in the spots. This is a bigger spot, so I'll take my bigger ink, my bigger stamp. And let me show you another secret. See how I stamped off right there? If I had done that, so let me show you. If you're stamping like this and you stamp off and then you stamp again, you're going to get a mark like that because that went off the paper. So your whole ink, your whole stamp was on the paper and this part was off, so it didn't get that first generation stamping done. So you want to be careful not to do that. So I'll show you right here. Well, if I'm going to stamp right here and then I want to stamp again, you see how you get lines and the bottom part's darker. I know it's hard to see on the video. But what you want to do is just completely re-ink. And if you want a second generation, you stamp it off and then stamp. And then you'll have a lighter image. The whole stamp will be lighter. So that's the way you want to do that. And so on this one, I have randomly stamps, but there's no leaves down here. So I am going to take my ink and just kind of go in like that, just so it kind of looks like that's just part of the cluster of flowers. Oh, see, now look, I got my block right there. Be careful not to do that. All right, so that's the front, which you're going to see my big old blobby mark, but that's okay. That's what embellishments are for. All right, so just start randomly putting your leaves. And by stamping off and doing the second generation, so that's what this is called, is if you stamp directly on, that's stamping. And then if you stamp off once and then on because you want a lighter shade, that's called second generation stamping. And then you can do third generation stamping. Okay, so it's just all kind of what the look is that you want. Okay, so see that? I just kind of made another light image. I think this one I'm going to come down. And add a little leaf there. I even think I'm going to add right there. All right, so that's good. I'm not hearing from anybody, so I'm guessing everybody's doing really well. Oh. All right, just keep going, adding your leaves. And then we're going to assemble the box next. And I like to put the leaves on. So I was going to do this, but I don't really want the stem there. I'd rather have it come in like that. So you see all the pretty parts of the leaves. I'll move that over. All right, so think about that too. And then I want to change it out because I want the other leaf to come in. There's one nice big leaf. It's just a matter of what you're looking for. You don't have to cover it completely. Hi, Rio. Nice to have you again. Oh, good for you, Steph. So Rio, we started out with a class and we were trying to use our Google Duo, but it's new to all of us and we were trying to do a class on there and it just wasn't working out because my image, they're on phones and an iPad, I think, and it was just too small for them to see. So we decided we're just moving over here. So I have a lot of brand new stampers. So we're doing our first virtual class and first class for many of us. Many of them are very, very first time stampers. So we're just kind of going along here. Yeah, but that's okay. We're all here together. So it's working out. Everybody seems to be doing fine. So I'm just kind of going along. I didn't do anything much of anything because I want them to see how it's done from the beginning. So it'll be a little bit of a lengthy video, but that's all right. This is what I would be doing today anyway. Today's a craft day for me, for sure. And this is what we're making. We're going to make a box and with some note cards inside. So we did some note cards and envelopes. So that's what we're doing. And then over on my blog, I'm going to post all the measurements and everything. So that's, thank you. So as you can see, you guys just randomly put your flowers and images. Your leaves are fillers, so just fill them up. Now when I get to a bigger panel like this, I tend to start with the larger one. And I will go in, and now I want a second generation stamp. And so I stamp off first, so I make sure I get the whole image what I want. And when the flowers are up this far, I tend to put the end. Oh, for the cards? Yep. It's pretty much the same, Olivia, whatever you want. I did add these on the card. I did add these up there, but you don't have to. So it's whatever, and then they're just blank inside because they're little note cards. You could stamp a little flower here or whatever if you wanted. And then I did do the envelopes. And see, this one I did add the same ink on as the center because I did that to show you guys that it'll come a little darker and it'll look just fine. It'll soften the whole set by not using as many colors, if that helps you. Are you working on your note cards already? Oh, you go, girl. I think I'm going to put another flower right here. I don't like the corner all empty. I don't want it all leaves, I guess I should say. All right, so just, how's everybody coming? Is everybody on the leaves yet? So like I said, it's just random. You just put them on there, put them where you want them, you know, see what looks good to you. And then that's what you want. Whatever I post, that is just an option. It's just an idea. So you can change it up. You can change your colors. You can do whatever you want. All right, I think I'm good. Oh, let's do one more right here. All right, so I'm good with that. So I've done one. Let me show you. So I've done a different color. I did this one. And I did this one some time ago. And I put the little comment there, a little sentiment. And then I put a butterfly on it. I added Winka Stella. And so this one is just, and oh, and I did a background. It's called Birch. It's like a wood look. So I just did that just to kind of distress it a little bit and see what it looked like. So I did that. I added a magnet with this one, but you really don't need the magnet because it closes. As long as you use the thicker cardstock, then it'll close fine. This one I did in designer series paper. So if you buy the printed paper, you can create your own and you don't have to do the stamping like we're doing now. You could just put printed paper. Now you can tell the difference between these two. This one is regular Whisper white paper, and it's just not, it's not as sturdy as this one, and like the one we're making. This is just this is Whisper white. Okay, Kim. So you saw the cards and the envelope, and I'm going to go ahead and continue. So you can always come back on, and then of course the card that you have is like this, and then you can just put whatever sentiment on you want. If you have any questions, just let me know, Kim. Thanks a lot. So these are just some other options to think about. Is remember to use the thicker paper. It just holds up a lot better to 3D projects. And this one's fine. It's just that it's just seems like it kind of bends a little easier. And I didn't embellish this one yet or anything, but I really liked this one. All right, so just a thought there. All right, so I'm done. I'm done with my leaves. You too. All right. Did I show you what you needed to, Olivia? Did you see what you needed with the flowers on the card? Okay, guys, so I am done with coloring. So I'm going to show you this, but if you guys want to, we can set this aside and continue on. But I'll show you what the next step is. It's actually super easy, and I'll probably just do it while you keep going. So at this point, I like to fold all my score lines. And if you have a bone folder, then this is the great way to do it. I like to do the valleys. Okay, so when you have score lines, when they go in like this, that's the valley, and then this is the mountain side. Okay, of your scores. Okay, now I'm getting too close with white. So I like the valley side on the outside. So that works best for me. So you're just gonna fold it up, make sure it's even, a nice crisp. Now if you were doing this with your thinner paper, you want to be a little more careful because it really can rip your paper, because designer series paper, the printed paper, is a little thinner. Okay. All right, so just make sure you score everything. The little ones, I fold them all up on the side, and then I just score them. Okay. And then this one you want to score. Now, the part when you start gluing these items on here, you may notice that you need to trim a little bit, because on the box itself, you are cutting exactly the box, but when you cut, one side might be just a tad bit longer, depends on how you cut down in the middle of the score line, if that makes sense. And so you might need to trim it just a tad. So for example, I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to go ahead and put my large one on first. And if I put it up here, it might just be a sliver too big, because I cut exactly around. Okay, so it looks like, oops, let me line it up right here. So it looks like I can take a sliver off. This is where a trimmer comes in handy because your line can be nice and straight. I don't want to take that much off, and I'd rather take a little at a time just to make sure that my piece is going to fit on here okay, and I'm good with this piece. So am I going too slow, too fast for you guys? Let me know. Now you're crafting along with me. All right, so all right, now you could use liquid glue. I like to use liquid glue for this part because it gives me a little wiggle room. Oops, see, that would have been upside down. A little wiggle room to put your pieces on and kind of slide them up a little bit where you want them. Right? So that looks good. And they don't have to be perfect, you guys. Now remember, you do not want to put this piece on, let me move this up, like this, because when you create your box, you're going to turn it like this and it's going to be upside down. Okay, so remember, I'm going to post the picture online on my blog, but remember, you want this one and this top one, same size panels, upside down, because when you put it together, it's going to go like this, and you want them right side up. So I'm going to put this one on upside down, and again, I'm going to trim it a little bit. And especially when you're doing white on white, it doesn't have to be exactly to the line because you don't want that. Now let me see. Because this one here has my dropped block, I'm actually going to move that one up here and I'm going to put this one down here. So see, that's another fix. So I'm going to put this one on the bottom because they're the same size. Yeah. And so, like I said, you're going to find that you might need to trim just a tiny bit off because you did cut the exact same image, but I don't want this hanging over because then my box won't close or won't sit straight or whatever. So I'm just going to put glue. Now when I adhere the box actually together, I like to use double-sided like tear and tape or Stampin' Seal Plus works well too. All right, so now those, oh look at, see, I put it on right side. So I noticed it quickly. This glue gives you a little time, but I am going to add a little bit more glue right where I tore up the paper a little bit. Whew, see, good catch. All right. All right, there we go. So we're just going to add all our panels. Again, this is regular Whisper White that we stamped on. And if you guys will know when you stamp on Whisper White versus a generic white piece of paper, it just isn't the same. All right, see how those go when we close the box up? So you want to make sure they're upside down when you do it this way. All right, and now what I do is I go, okay, so now these, I'm going to do the long sides. Just kind of look at your picture here, and that's the way you want them to go. And not that there really matters because everything's, you know, topsy-turvy on here now, because when you stamped your flowers, you stamped them just kind of random everywhere. So again, you're going to find yourself probably needing to cut down everything just a tiny bit. And if you're doing it on the scorer, I do it just to the right side of the, like halfway to the brown on the right side of the place that you cut, if that makes sense. So just, let me show you. So just to over here, I just barely move the paper over and cut. Just a little bit off. I don't think I took enough on this one. No. So just sliver a little off. And make sure when you close it, make sure it didn't move a whole lot, so that you have it right where you want it. Alright, so you just keep putting all your panels on. For those of you that just joined, we're doing kind of a group class. All of these items will be listed on my blog with instructions and measurements and everything. So probably by the end of the night. The box, Stephanie, it goes under the flower. See, like this. Cut it in half. If there's only one piece, I think I might have put two. Just fold them, and then I used glue dots or whatever you want to put those under. Olivia, you got your box together already? All right. So you see, you're just adding your panels. It's easier when you have it over here laid out. That way you know where everything goes. I just kind of like to put this on here, make sure it fits where it goes. If I need to trim it at all. And like I said, the liquid glue is forgiving. You can slide it, make sure it's exactly where you want it. Okay, good. All right. I didn't measure this one first, and I should have. So I'm going to push that up a little bit. Okay. All right. So the cards, you guys, are really just like a panel. You do your card just like a panel. Now, I would open it up, and I'll show you. If you've seen me do an envelope, I would do it like that, so that the other side is completely out of the way, and you can stamp your flowers off of the edges and not have any issues. So I'll show you that just in case you guys haven't seen that done on my videos. But it just keeps your image cleaner, but lets you get to your edges and do that. So Dawn, is it easier or harder than you thought? That's what I want to know. Is it easier than you thought or harder than you thought? And how's everybody else doing over there on that? Okay, so if you guys see right here, this is cut a little crooked because I just did this on the trimmer so I know it's straight. So I'm just going to take my snips and just cut that little edge right there. And so that it's straight. And that's just going to be the side of your box. It's not that big of a deal, but you're going to notice it when you put your box together. And you can trim it at that time when you're doing it. It's fine. Okay, no problem. I know it's a lot harder on a live to keep up. But you guys are doing great. No laughing, Debbie. I can hear Debbie. Oh, sure. When we can get together in person again, we're going to have too much fun. And we'll work out the kinks and figure out our other program because that worked. I knew she would. So if there's any little hangovers, just trim them. It's not a big deal. Some of these are going to be tucked in and you're not going to even see them. So Charlene, are you still with us? And Candace, how are you guys doing? All right, box is coming together. It's so funny because once this part's done, you're like, oh, okay, the rest is easy. And this gets easier, you guys, just as you go. I know it's your first time. Good, Charlene. I know it's a 3D project. And of course, I give you guys one of the more, I wouldn't say difficult, but time consuming. I mean, it's a learning thing, I know. But you guys are doing great. All right. Still a couple panels left. Are you doing DSP or... no, I'm stamping the cards. I'm just going to show you the DSP, what I did. Because you guys can do that. That's just kind of freehand. Yes, Rio, it will be. And I will be putting all the measurements on my blog, which is Marcy Bessaker Designs. So I'll put everything over there too. And I'll be putting the video over there. So if you go to subscribe on my blog, it will be posted there probably later tonight. And it will include this video. You're welcome. I'm glad you were able to stop by. Okay, guys, I'm turning up my fan one more notch, getting warm in here. So I think my neighbors are moving. They've been here for 20-something years. We're new, so we haven't been here that long. But I don't know, today I saw on our camera outside, I was waiting for somebody to pick up their kit, and when I looked outside on the camera, the people next door had a moving truck, and there's a bunch of trucks out front, and their camper trailer that their motorhome, or I don't think it was a motorhome, I think it was a camper trailer, was parked outside and it's gone. So I don't know if they're moving or not. So I told my husband to go be nosy. I did hear him walk outside a little while ago, so I'm thinking he went to go check out what's going on. Because, yeah, we don't talk to them much. They're very, very quiet to themselves, which is really nice. But, yeah, kind of shocked about that. If they're moving, I don't know. They might not be. All right, so my panel on the front, I kind of want it to, no, I think I'm going to leave it like that. So my panel on the front, the white box part sticks out a little bit more, but I think it's going to be okay because I would rather it not catch when you're opening and closing it. Yeah, they've been here a long time, so I don't know. It's an older couple. They're just very quiet. We don't ever hear from them. But, yeah, I need to find out what's going on. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and tape, you guys. You keep adhering, and I'm going to go ahead and tape just so I can show you what to do. And it's on your instructions under number 4. So on this side, you want to put tape on your top little tabs. Okay, so like a double-sided adhesive tape would be good, or I'm going to try this one. This is our new Stampin' Seal Plus, which is really good, and especially for 3D projects. Are you sure they're moving? Hope they aren't ripping up ice off. Well, I hope not, because the trailer's gone and they've got a moving truck and there's like 4 regular trucks out front. So I hope they're not ripping them off. That would be terrible. Okay, so I'm going to do that last. I'm going to put, because I normally put my tape in. So this is how you do it. I tape these in on the side. And then you fold it up. These are on the inside. Okay, let me see. These are on the inside. Now, I put the tabs on the outside. And the reason why is this is going to cover them. And they're going to glue them together really well. Okay, and you're not going to see them at all. But when you're on the inside for your cards, you don't have that tab to deal with. So if you had the tab on the inside, it would be like this. And yes, you can glue it down, but you still have that edge of the tab that can catch. So I don't do that. I put them on the outside. So you'll see when you turn this over, you're going to put glue, you're going to put adhesive on here. So let's just try it. This is that new glue. Oh, am I out? Okay, so why is it not sticking? Oh, there we go. Because the operator, this is a new glue, and the runners are, I'm a liquid glue girl, but I do like how this works. I just don't always reach for it like I should. All right, because it is a newer product. And I just usually don't, but it works really, really well. I mean, it sticks. All right. So let's see how I did this. I did one on the inside. Oh, and I did one along the side here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, this just goes up the side. I'm going to do a little bit on this panel here so that it sticks, okay, onto here. So now I'm going to put this I'm going to pull these up. I want my tabs out. And if you guys want to use liquid glue, you definitely can. Line your corners up like this. Put your tab in. Okay, line your corners. Put your tab in. And lay it flat so you get your edges together. Edges together. Squish your flap in there. And I'm just lightly doing it because I'm using the plus. I want to make sure that it's, okay, that side looks really good. And this side, my tab, okay, so my tab is sticking out just a tad. Haha, my tab is sticking out just a tad. So I'm going to just trim this down just a little bit more. Let's see if that works. I'm going to go down all the way a little bit. So I'm just going to, there. Just take off that tiny bit. And there we go. Okay. All right, so that part's done. Now, on this part, so on the colored side, you're going to add your tape. And this is all in the pictures, you guys. You'll see it on your picture, on the image. And you're going to just glue all this down. I should have put tape on it first and turned it over, but that's the hard part. And you can use liquid, like I said, with using tape like this. Okay. You could do it like this. Well, that would be much easier. All right, so I have my Stampin' Seal Plus. So just close your lid on your tab. Okay? And same with this one. Close your lid on your tab. All right. There's my box. I should have, yep, nope, I just got to rub it down. There. So there is the box. So I'm going to fussy cut out my flower. Well, you guys are still where you're at. Where's everybody at? Are you guys done with your box yet? You're adhering it, sticking it together? Do you want me to continue on with the cards? And you guys will put your boxes together later? Or rewatch that part? Do you want me to hang on? Whatever you guys want, I'm good with. Alright, I'm just going to finish my box by doing my flower that I stamped earlier that matches the box. I put the green on just to show the leaves on how I did leaves, so you don't have to put the green on. That's, you're not going to cut that out. I mean, you could, I guess. Okay, so now at this point, I just kind of, because I want to go in here a little bit. Just a little. You don't have to go in a lot. It's whatever your preference is. Okay, the secret to fussy cutting, this is called fussy cutting when you don't have a die, is move your paper and your image, not your scissors. Not your hand with your scissors. I mean, you can move it a little bit, obviously, but it's better for you and easier to just keep cutting with your right and moving with your left. All right, so there's my flower. We're just about done with the box. Okay, I'm going to cut this one out. And I just leave a little white border, not a lot, but I do like to, I'll show you when I get towards the top, I do like to give it a little character. So I like to kind of go and just kind of follow the lines or what you think would be the lines in the flower. Give it a little bit of a character. Don't just do like a circle. It's nice to give it a little more dimension. I do go down a little ways in between the flowers, but you don't have to. It's all preference, you guys. Some people I know like to go right up against the line. And okay, so here I go again. Give it a little, just kind of follow the color. And then I just like to make sure I give it some dimension. And a little bit, like right here is a little wavy. Just barely move your paper. It'll give it a little bit of a little bit more character than just if you did it, and then I just kind of do it at a slant right here, which is going to be tucked anyway. All right, and then in the kit is some ribbon. You want to pull the ribbon out. And what I did is I used glue dots, but you could just fold them and glue them there. Is I did a glue dot in the middle, and then I just folded it down. And you want to make your edges pretty. Okay, so there's one. This is such pretty ribbon. The ribbon, you guys, from Stampin' Up, you get so much ribbon. Let me see what this one says. Let me fix my edges here. Okay, there's that. Let's see. I'm going to tell you how much ribbon you get on this one. You get 10 yards. And this one's called Organdy Striped Ribbon. And now that I'm saying that, let me double check, because this class was scheduled before I mean, I made these before. I just want to make sure if it's still, that ribbon's still available. But there's plenty of gorgeous ribbons. Oh yeah, it's still available. The sheer ribbon, no, that's not it. Let me see, number 13. $8, you guys, for 10 yards. And this is petal pink, is the color. It's petal pink. All right. So at this point, I put some foam squares on. All right, I'm going to use regular size. We have mini ones too. And so I put 3 on. Okay, just to make sure you've got good coverage. Adding a little water to my chamois. I left it out. Now it's drying up a little bit. Make sure you keep your chamois in a case or a bag or something to keep it moist. If I keep it in my case, then it stays wet for like more than a week. But if I take it out and leave it out, even when I'm crafting, because it's so dry here, and I have my fan going too, doesn't help. All right. So I want to put my dimensionals on. I'm going to pop everything up. So what I'm going to do with the ribbon is I'm going to add a glue dot. And you can trim it once you have it on, okay? So I'm going to think about where I want to put this. And I do this up in the corner. So I'm going to put this one right here. And I'm going to open this one up a little bit more. And I'm going to put it, I need a glue dot again. So just kind of get an idea where you want to put it. And I'm going to put it right there because I'm going to try and hide that boo-boo I made. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue just because I want this ribbon to stay. And I have dimensionals on my flower, so it's probably going to stay anyway because this is another adhesive that it's going to be sticking it down. So I'm going to just put that there. I'm going to open it up, push it, and then I'm going to take my little flowers here. I'm going to tuck them under and just kind of poke them out right there. And now you guys have the rhinestones. Again, all of this will be listed on my blog tonight. So you're going to take your pick tool and just slide it off. They already have little glue dots on the back. And then just kind of put them where you think. All right, so there you go. Now I didn't add a sentiment to this one like I did on this one because, like I said at the beginning, this way you can just put all note cards in there of any kind, any sentiment, and personalize it, whatever you want. All right, I'm going to trim those a little bit. Well, that just looks bad. Let's see. There you go. All right, I made them a little shorter because I don't want them to interfere with my opening and closing of my box. All right, so my box is done. All right, I'm going to show you guys. You keep doing your panels. I am going to work on the cards. So I'm going to move those up a bit. I'm going to pull this down and I'm going to work on a card and show you how to do that. If you've not seen my class before or my videos before, it'll show you what to do. So what I like to do, and I do the same with envelopes, is I like to put my card on the paper and put this underneath like this. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that this is burnished. All right, so this is like how I like to do it. You could also do it like this, the opposite way. Put the side in underneath that you want to keep clean and stamp this way also. I recommend either way because this is a little bit thicker than envelopes. Okay, Charlene, have a good day. Thank you. Is you're going to put it on here like this. I would pull this back a little more. And that's another reason the grid sheets are amazing. Okay. And just, you don't have to really tape it down if you don't want to. Just be mindful that it could shift. So let's just leave it like this. And we're going to do most of the stamping on the bottom anyway. But just in case you get up close and you want to come up higher, then you don't have to worry about that. You just make sure that you have it covered when you're stamping. And I'll do one card like that just to kind of show you. All right. So I'm going to start just like we did the panels, you guys. So just pull in So for those joining that missed the panels, this is what we did. Kind of. Oops, I didn't put my rubber, my block. I like to put this underneath me, so I make sure. All right. And then what I did on this one is I did do the flowers in the same color, but I'm going to go back and use the Flirty Flamingo. And so this time we are also doing the stem. So I do the flowers. I just go to the edge, and you can see through these because they're clear. And I'm going to take the stem off. And then I take a marker. This one is Pear Pizzazz. I have my fan on, so I'm going to huff on it. And so sometimes, like, there's a flower right there, so I'll just pull this up right to the edge of the flower. And this is called masking, and this is not exactly masking because you could cut out the exact image. But do you see how now it doesn't look like the stem's not going over the flower? So I masked this flower off with this paper just so it didn't go on top of the flower. Okay, so there is a masking technique that you would either use a die or cut an image out and lay it on top, and that's a whole different class, but it kind of gives you an idea that you could make things pile up right next to each other and make it look like they're right next to each other. Now I probably need to re-ink my set a little bit, but my ink. All right. So we're doing the same thing that we did for the panels. We're just going to add our color. All right, I'm going to use my poppy for all the little ones again. I just love this set because it's so quick, it's so forgiving, and it's just so much fun. All right, and then I think I'm going to use the Calypso Coral. For the centers of the yellow. So you just want to find a color combination that you like, and a really good thing to do is go to Pinterest and just put in color combinations or you know, card colors or techniques or whatever, and there's a lot of different colors. Or if you just see something that you like and you like the colors, what I do is I try to, and I need to be better about it, but I create a board that just says colors, and then that way I can go back and say, all right, what colors did I like? You know, either they're on flowers or something rustic or whatever I was working on. Okay, so let's say I do a leaf up here coming in. So I'm just gonna, again, this is kind of like masking, but I'm masking the other page off. And so I'm going to ink up my stamp and just bring it in. And just kind of press a little harder on this because you really want to make sure you get the edge where that paper meets. And so now I really don't need to have it like that anymore because that's the only one I'm going to do up there like that. All right, so coming off the side, no big deal. I don't need the paper. I'm going to switch my leaves. And then I'm going to stamp again to get a second generation. All right, I'm going to fill in this corner, making it look like there's more flowers below. I'm going to do the smaller one right there. I want something right there, but I think the smaller. All right, and so I'm fine with that. So there's my card. And now I'm going to bring in an envelope. And then you just do this for all of them, you guys. I did 4, a set of 4 for the box. You could probably put more in there if you guys wanted to do 6 or whatever you want. You could do more. Now I did the last one like this, but I think I'm going to do the little buds because I don't have to go back and put the centers in and all that. And because we didn't use that as much, but we did use it, so I kind of like to bring that back in. So we're going to do this one here. And so I'll do all my envelopes, but I'll do my cards later. I showed you the one card. And then I'm going to show you a quick alternative card and some ideas. All right, so we're going to do this. Although I just put green up on my flower, so oops, okay, so I put the ink on the flower and I'm just going to color in the stems again. Or like I said, you could turn it and then put it on your ink. And then I hop on it, make sure your envelope's right. Make sure the stem is off the page because you don't want a floating flower. So if you stamp your image down and your stem is up here, then it looks like a floating flower, whereas this just looks like it is coming off the page, but it's grounded, so it's not just floating around. So again, same thing, wipe that off. So for those of you that are new, you're learning a lot of techniques. And I know it's probably a little overwhelming, but I'm sure you're doing just fine. It just does, Olivia. There are stamp cleaners. We have a pad, I'll show it to you, called a stamp. Let's see. Now I need to make sure. Let me look at my catalog really quick because I just want to make sure that it's still available. All right. Okay, Dawn, what are you confused on? Let me know. Okay, Olivia. If you look on page 163, you'll find it. But the polymer they will keep a color. Dawn, can you message what you need? You can message me if you need. I'm going to watch this again if you're going to leave it on your channel. Oh yeah, it'll definitely be on my channel. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Okay, so the envelopes are done. This is what the card's going to look like. Here's the box, and I'll finish my other cards later. Here are my envelopes that go with this one. All right, so what I wanted to show you guys for an alternate is here's a card. Super, super simple, super easy. I'm just going to fold this down so you can see on my mat here. I'm going to work on this panel. So you guys that are still putting your boxes together or doing your cards, I'm just going to show this so it'll be on for you guys later. So I did this one in the petal pink. I'm going to take the hydrangea stamp that we had, and I'm just going to do is color on color. So whatever stamp, whatever image you use, whatever color you use for your paper, I just did a color on color. Rio, you're very welcome. Have a good night. So you just want to randomly do this. Okay, so remember that your image is going to be in the middle, so you definitely want to make sure you get your edges, and it doesn't have to cover the whole thing. So if you can see, it's just on there. All right. This one's a super easy card. Then I'm going to take my panel, and I'm going to take my Mango Melody, and my large image, ink it up, and just put it right in the middle. You can slant it a little bit, whatever you want. And then take it off. All right, we're going to close this up. And we're just about done. Oh, you guys, I just got a breaking news. It said Regis Philbin died. He's 88. Well, that's a bummer. All right, so you're going to take your, wow. I'm using the Poppy Parade. For both of my centers. So it's the same, it's a lot of the repeat, guys. It's a lot of repeat. Just do your stamping. I mean, you could do it all at one time, but this is a different card. I was just wanted to give you guys a different option, something that's a quick, easy card. I know a lot of you had purchased this stamp set, so I want to give you a lot of options to do. So I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to show you one other thing. Now, you could leave your, I'm going to do a second generation right here. Okay. You could leave this bare and not put, I know, Dawn, it just seems like they're all going to start going. It's just sad. Very sad. So what I did, you can see on this card, this is the one we're creating, is I put the sentiment here. And you still can. I mean, you could put the sentiment up here. It just depends on what sentiment you want, or up here. It's whatever you want to do. And you could lift it up. Now, I did it like this because I know I have a lot of you beginners that don't have a lot of product yet. So you could just stamp your sentiment right onto the card, and you do not have to put a banner or a tab or anything like that. Just figure out what you like. And I'm going to switch the leaves right here. Yeah, I can't believe Regis Philman. That's a real bummer. Okay, so I'm just going to do it like that. You could tell this was inked. This has been used a lot. I need to re-ink it. But that's the difference. If you get re-inkers to refill your ink pads, if they start getting light and you use them a lot. Or I'm just using a wipe real quick. All right, so now I'm just going to adhere it to here. Super simple card. All right. Add it on here. And pop it up. I do not know if there's a limit on Facebook. I've never been on long enough to get kicked off, but that might change today, just so you guys are aware if I get booted. So I am going to show you one more thing really quick. And then the ladies that are in my class, I'm going to go ahead and call you back. So if you're available, answer. If you're not, don't worry about it. And I have a few things to share with you. For those of you that joined us on Facebook, thank you so much. All right, so then all I do is pull the card in and pop this up. It's super simple, yet it still layers. And I'm just going to lay it down, and I'm good with that. And so you can add a sentiment later. You can add sequins. There's so much more you can do, but that kind of gives you an idea there. And this is one of my cards out of here. So here's our box. Here's our cards. Here's our other envelopes and cards in our box. Bring them all in. You're on YouTube. I know, but I don't know what the time limit is, Steph. All right, so one of the other things I wanted to show you guys that I just love, and I wish I could remember, that I think the lady's from Australia, and I want to say her name is Ruth, I believe. And she creates designer series paper that looks like this. Not exactly like this. You just basically take a piece of paper and start stamping. And if you do it kind of in like a plus type look, you're going to come up with, you just cut it in quarters, right? And then you cut it your normal card size, which ours is A2, which is 5.5 by 4.25. And then you create cards. So I wanted to show you that, what I did, because I just loved what she did. And so I put them on panels already. So I can turn them, like this one would be like that. This one I would probably do here. I can pop up sentiments. I can add rhinestones. I can do whatever I want. This one I would probably do like this also. And then this one, again, I dropped my block. So of course, I'm going to put a panel right there and decorate it and put a sentiment, and I might cut out some flowers and put there or whatever. So there's some other ideas with this set. So for those of you that purchase the set, I hope this helps you see all the different things that you can do with it. There's so much more. This is one of my favorite sets. I showed earlier this card and envelope. And the card is just a panel, 2 panels, again, color the front one. And then I stamped the back one all the way around. Okay, I stamped it all the way around. I just did the whole panel, which is still the regular sheet of paper when you would normally fold it in half, but I folded it in quarters. Okay, and then I added the panel on the top. So it's called a gate fold. Okay, so it's like you're opening the gate. All right, so that one is another really fun idea. And this one, you would buy dies to do your layering here for your little panels. Or you could just cut squares. It just adds just that little extra. And then, of course, the envelope. I like to decorate the envelope. So I hope this gives you guys a lot of ideas. I know that for my people in class, it just ended up being a crazy day because our other way did not work for us because you couldn't see me large enough with so many people on. So that we'll have to figure out. Hopefully we'll be able to meet in person very, very soon and not have to do it like this anymore. But I'm thankful you guys were okay with me going live so you could see it. So here's a couple images with the card, the box. I added a sentiment to this one and made thank you notes, but you could always leave them blank and add the sentiment that you need as you go. My next class is going to be the Tasteful Touches, and so we're going to be making these 3 cards. There's information on my blog, marcybessaker.com, and there's also information on my Facebook page on at Marcy Bessaker Designs. So both places you can find my class list under events. If you've enjoyed this very long, hopefully helpful video, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. And if you ring the little bell there, you'll get notified when I do go live again. I always appreciate you guys subscribing and sharing. That really helps me grow my business, and I appreciate that very much. And I enjoy crafting with friends. It's always way more fun than crafting on my own. I am live on YouTube on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock and Sundays at noon. Today is a surprise video because, like I said, it was going to be a class turned into a live video. So I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, you can purchase through my store. If you go to Marcy Bessaker Designs on my, or excuse me, marcybessaker.com on my blog. And this current video will be there with a post probably later tonight. And there's a shop button. You can see the current catalogs. My current hostess code is there. And you can always get a hold of me and ask me if you have any questions. Let me know. I appreciate it very much. I hope you guys have a great day. Here's a screenshot for you if you'd like to get the information. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks again, everybody, for joining me. And for those of you in my class, I'm going to call you right now. Thanks, Kim. Yeah, Kim saw the product for our next class in person, and Stephanie did too. So hopefully it's going to be a really fun class. It's a great, great set. And I have to show you the dies to that set as soon as I can. Oh, here it is. So I love the set. The set is so pretty. You're welcome, Dawn. So here's the set. I'm switching cameras here. So here's the set. It's got beautiful sentiments. I just love the just saying hello. That is so perfect. But this is great background. This is great flowers. I'll show you the cards in person. But look at the dies you get. You get all these labels with that stamp set. That honestly, this is what sold me on the bundle. When you buy it as a bundle. If you buy the dies and the stamp together in the bundle, you'll save 10%. Okay. Also, I'm recommending the In Good Taste designer paper. I cut mine down, as I've mentioned in my videos before. This comes in 12 by 12 paper. I have used a lot of this paper, and you get so much. It's double-sided. It's all textures and just fun paper, and everybody loves wood, right? So there's a lot of different woods shades in there. All right, I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to show you the cards. So I will show you. So did I find them? Oh, I have them hung up. Hold on. All right, so here is the first card. And you can see we used the paper in the background here. Okay. Just super simple. And these are the little wood elements that I had recommended on the site, but you do not have to get those. It's just they're extra, something extra fun. These here, this card I added Wink Estella and I gold embossed these. So hopefully if we're in person, we can do that. But here again, printed paper, and of course I have my envelope. And we'll do matching envelopes here, and this one has it on the back, on the flap. All right, so there's two. And then we have this one. Again, the paper. And I tried to do it with the colors that my class has. So I know that you guys have this color, and we'll work out the other stuff. Hopefully we're going to be in person, but we'll do this card. So those are the three cards for the next class. So just to kind of show you what's coming up. Okay, now guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. For those of you who joined in between, it is so worth watching it from the beginning. Creating this cute box that holds 4 cards in it. It's a great box. Oh, that is really have a glare on it, doesn't it? Has a great box. It is a fun card. You want to use the Whisper White thick cardstock for this. All right. All right, guys. Have a great day, and I will chat with you soon. See you tomorrow on YouTube Live for my regular Sunday video at noon. Thanks a lot. Bye, guys.